Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir. Folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes of a glow will find it hard to speak tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy. Hi, Michaela. See if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas, everybody. We're just vibing. Hi, Emery. Just vibing. Getting ready to talk about. Hi, Diane. Welcome in. Merry Christmas. Wanted to talk about what's going on in the cosmos. Happy holidays from Los Angeles. Oh, that's amazing. Happy holidays from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And so I'm offering. Hi, Alchemist Queen Alexandria. I love that name. Aries Sun, Libra Moon, Virgo Rising. Oh, that is a lovely setup. So you are a full moon baby. If the sun is in Libra, or the sun is in Aries and the moon is in Libra, then you have a full moon configuration of sun and moon. And that means that that axis of Aries and Libra is speaking loudly in your life. The themes of action and initiation for the self versus kind of compromise and valuing partnership and truth and liberty and diplomacy. So those different themes there of whether to take action, be that white knight, or to be the diplomat, to be making sure that everyone is, Oh, my big three, I have Virgo too. I'm a Gemini sun, Virgo moon, Leo rising. No water. I wish I had more water, but people are like, oh, you're not a Pisces? No. Really? How do you guys get along? Aries and Gemini, I feel like I always vibe with Aries. Yep, I am. I'm a poet and I write songs. And actually, I do this challenge every year called NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writers Month. Okay, so you caught me. I'm a nerd. National Novel Writers Month in November. And it's a 30-day challenge to write 50,000 words of a novella. And I've done it twice. Neither of them are very good, but definitely. Thank you. All my music is on streaming sites, on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, all the things, YouTube. My band name is Danny Darling. Really? You're a music producer. Wonderful. Because I play guitar. I play rhythm guitar for my band, and I write the songs and I sing them. And I have a 5-piece band, 2 guitars, me on rhythm, then I have a lead guitar. Then I have a bass, drums, and a flute. Just because. Just because. Thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. Let's see if we get the cheer here. Turn that down a little bit. So I wanted to talk about the cosmos today. There's a lot going on this season, and there's a lot going on as we move. Me too. I love a good flute. Welcome in, Clarity. So there's a lot that's going on in the season of like holiday season as we move into the new year. There's a lot of planets that are about to congregate. They're starting to all move into the sign of Capricorn. Hi, Clarity. Welcome in. And so now that the planets have shifted from Sagittarius to Capricorn, it's creating a new vibe. And as we talked before about the solstice, about how the winter solstice is the death and rebirth of the sun. It's what we call the longest night. It's when the light, or our great luminary, the sun, is at its darkest, furthest away point, and then it's reborn and it starts to grow in light every day after the winter solstice. You may not have noticed it, but the day is just a little bit longer than it was yesterday, and that was a little bit longer than it was the day before. So this is our new trajectory of the sun building in power after the solstice, as it starts to rise in the sky towards its zenith at the top of the sky at summer solstice. And that's why that's the longest day of the year and the strongest, most powerful effort of the sun. And so now that we have the inner planets, and that inner planets are Mercury, although Mercury is still in Sagittarius, but we have Venus, Mars, Mercury, and the sun were all congregating in the sign of Sagittarius up until last week. Then we started to have them all shifting out. Mars moved into Capricorn. The sun obviously moved into Capricorn. The moon moved into Capricorn after the new moon, and then Venus just moved into Capricorn yesterday. So now we have a new chapter. We're turning the page already. The wheel keeps turning, and that's the thing that we have to keep remembering, is that the wheel keeps turning, the pages keep turning. Yes, it's very beautiful. And so we're moving into this new phase as the inner planets, which in ancient astrology or Hellenistic astrology, the inner planets represent more about us down here on Earth and our experience and expression of life here. The outer planets are more about our societal, our generational things. And so what's really important here is that now that we have the inner planets shifting as a big group, that speaks loudly, okay? If a baby was born today, they would be having a stellium in Capricorn. So this speaks loudly to us in transit, just like it would speak loudly in a birth chart, right? So what we were talking about last week is that all of these inner planets, hi, Mr. Roy Boy, as these inner planets move through the end of Sagittarius and approach Capricorn, they're being met in a square where they square off against Saturn, which is completing its tour through Pisces, and then they square off against Neptune, which is at the final critical degree of 29 degrees of Pisces. So we have two big heavy-hitting outer planets, Saturn and Neptune, in Pisces, kind of the gateway to Capricorn right now. You have to go through them to get to Capricorn, right? So we've had that, okay? We had Mars complete the square to Saturn, complete the square to Neptune, move into Capricorn. Then we had the sun do the same thing. Then we had the moon square Saturn, square Neptune, move into Capricorn. And then this past week, past couple days, we had Venus square Saturn, where we're getting serious about love, square Neptune, where we have this hazy romantic Christmas Eve, and then move into Capricorn, okay? And so now, I'm a thinker, and it got me to thinking, and this is where, Emery, you're so right, about all this Virgo, Gemini energy, about how all of these planets went from being at a square to Saturn and Neptune. And now that they're in Capricorn, they're in a whole sign sextile. So I'm going to show you here on the map here how we have these three planets. We have Mars, the Sun, and Venus in Capricorn, and they are all at a heavenly angle of a sextile to the Sun, the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune. Hi, Joanna. So now we've just gone from this tension between the inner planets and these two outer heavy giants, gas giants, to now they're in Capricorn and the themes have changed. The story, the page has turned. The story is telling a totally different story now. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today, is the story that we have now that we're talking about Capricorn and Pisces, okay? So I don't know if you are familiar with Capricorn or Pisces, but we're going to go down. Yeah, it's very interesting because Capricorn is the realist, right? Capricorn is about mastery of the physical world. Oh, and you have a lot of Pisces and you'll love this. Thank you for the follow, I. Thank you. What a cute name, I. Thank you so much. So we're going to break this all the way down, and it gets really interesting when we talk about Capricorn and Pisces, because if you think about it, Capricorn is the sea goat, okay? It's a lot of people think of it as the mountain or the goat, the mountain goat, which it is, but it's also a mythical creature, and it has like a mermaid fin, a tail. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. There aren't a lot of us. No. And what's weird is that like I try and support other ones, but it's almost like they don't like fuck with you. I think it's the patriarchy, though. I think it's like they pit us against each other or make us feel competitive with one another when I'd rather compete with the guys. Just me. Anyways, so Capricorn is the realist. It's the mastery, represents the mastery of the physical world, right? And then Pisces is the dreamer, which is where we surrender to the spiritual world. So you would think of those things as almost opposites, the realist and the dreamer, but they're actually really closely entrenched when it comes to the depth of their meaning and the fact that they are in a sextile to one another. If you look at the wheel, we have Capricorn here at a heavenly sextile angle to Pisces. So they're friendly to one another. Pisces is a water sign, mutable water, and Capricorn is an earth sign. So we know that earth and water vibe with one another, just like fire and air. So we have them at this blessed angle to one another, and that's where we see that they actually complement one another. Capricorn is the elder, the architect, as the mountain goat that climbed the highest peaks of worldly success. It's the origin, though, the tale that lies deep in the waters of intuition and emotion. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support. Yeah. So it's the tale of the sea goat that lies deep in the waters of intuition and emotion. So there is a watery element to Capricorn. There's an inner knowing. My college roommate, and they say that Capricorn and Gemini are like the tortoise and the hare, which is true in many ways, but my college roommate is a Capricorn, and that's where I really started to get to know that energy and understand the dark sense of humor, the seriousness that can be very silly, the preoccupation with building something and how beautiful that is, right? And that inner knowing, because my roommate, if she got a feeling about somebody, it was always right. Now, granted, she had cancer placements too, so I should have listened to that too, but it was all working together. And you have a Capricorn stellium, that's wonderful. So you get me when I talk about the the sense of humor that's a little a little off, but like hilarious, like a little bit dark, a little dark. So it's that Saturn, but then a deep inner knowing and intuition and that propensity to be building something. And so Capricorn is about integrity. Yeah. Oh wow. And your wife is all Taurus and Capricorn. Okay, so you're earthy. You vibe with the people who vibe with you, who are on the same wavelength. That's wonderful. And Taurus is about that partnership, so that's really wonderful. So Capricorn is about integrity and legacy. Okay, they build things that last. But the thing is that Capricorn has to work at all of those things, including integrity. There's a lot of um, there's a lot of stories of Capricorns that kind of, thank you for the heart me. Thank you, Kanisha. Welcome in. We're talking about Capricorn and Pisces because this is the energy today. And so Capricorn has to work hard at integrity. They have a propensity to do what it takes to get to the top, to be kind of, the go-getter, that whole thing. And so that is a thing that they have to preoccupy themselves with, is that moral compass. Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining. Welcome in. Thank you. I'm just waiting on Haru to go live. And I'm like, well, I might as well go live while I'm waiting. So we've got the realist, we've got Capricorn, the realist, the mastery of the physical world. Then we have Pisces, the dreamer, where we surrender to the spiritual world, right? And so Pisces is the dreamer, the healer, the martyr. Okay? It's the two fish swimming in opposite directions. And what some people don't realize is that the two fish are tied by a cord. I don't know if you guys can see this. Hold on, I'm horrible at drawing. It's like my artistic Achilles heel. But if you look at the emblem, you see there, you have the two fish, and this is a cord that's tying them, okay? It's a cord that's tying them, and it represents the struggle between the soul's desire for the divine and the soul's attachment to the physical world. Now remember, Capricorn is at the mastery of the physical world. Pisces is being torn between the two, a yearning for connection to source and their attachment to the physical realm, right? So that's really what we're dealing with the twin fish. And these are things that where Capricorn and Pisces connect, and it's a sextile. Like we said, in these angles, we've got a sextile between them. So now all of these inner planets that were previously squaring Saturn, squaring Neptune, moving into Capricorn, now that they've moved into Capricorn, they've ascended into a sextile with Saturn and Neptune. So now that they've moved into Capricorn, the story is about synchronicity between those planets, right? They've moved out of a tense angle into a harmonious angle. So now this next page, as we turn the page and all of these planets, thank you for the daily heart, me, TJ. Thank you. Welcome in. Merry Christmas. Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. I have a tree. I'll show you guys. But thank you so much. So we have this attachment to the physical world, a soul's desire for the connection with the divine. And so we feel the empathy and unconditional love. And that's the thing, whereas Capricorn really is working at like integrity and legacy building. Pisces, it comes much more naturally because their legacy is that unconditional aspect of love, of seeing the realness in us. Capricorn is the realist. Pisces sees the realist of us, sees us for who we really are, the ups, the downs, the beauty, the ugliness, and they say, it's okay. There's love here anyway for you. It's very much the Christ consciousness, because the twin fish is what we see when we see the Jesus fish and Christ's birth, which is what we're celebrating, although it's not really his birthday, but that's a whole other thing. But the birth of Christ, which we celebrate on Christmas, which is the beginning of the age of Pisces. Welcome in, Corey Jean. So we begin the age of Pisces with the birth of Christ, which is the twin fish, which is Pisces, which represents the Christ consciousness. And someone was talking in a video about how Christ represents one of the fish of Christianity, and that Paul represents the other fish. And so we have, even in Christianity, we have the twin fish being held by the cord, and they're swimming in opposite directions, right? They're swimming in opposite directions. One is the Christ consciousness of forgiveness and love and empathy and no separation between us. The boundaries between us have dissolved, and we're in this beautiful space of togetherness. And then the Paul fish is about the structure and the rules. Paul didn't even know Jesus, right? I think people forget that, and we don't realize that when we're following the rules and the Christianity and all of that, they're really Paul followers. There's very few that are actually Christ followers in actuality. Hi, Monique. Welcome in. Merry Christmas. Hi, the K Cox Way. So we have the Christ consciousness in its totality when it comes to Pisces. So when we get the sextile between the two of them, which is what's happening with all of these inner planets yep, they do. They absolutely do. They represent the 12 zodiac signs, yep, and the 12 months, and the divine math is very, very, it's a deep sinkhole of exploration to dig into, is the numbers and the magic with which we break down the number 12 into the four seasons, the four elements, the three modalities. It's just really a beautiful synchronous. Even this wheel, right? It's 12 houses. Each wheel represents a year in your life. In perfection, we do 0 to 1 is the first house, 1 to 2 is the second house, and you can map out your whole life by looking at your birth chart, and then you circle back at 12, the age of accountability, the age with which we do bat mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs, all of that. And it's when we believe that the soul, the body, the spirit, all of it is finally coagulated into one human form that's fully formed at 12. So hey Kay, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much for the support, guys. So yes, it's a lot of divination in the numbers, which is why I love getting into it. But so we have with the sextile, which is a 60-degree angle, we have a formation with which we have Mars, the planet of desire and action and determination. We have the sun, which is the source of our purpose, our spirit, our will, and our wishes, our hearts. And then we just had Venus move into Capricorn here. So we've got Mars, the sun, and Venus all in Capricorn. So I want you to think about in this sextile that the planets in Capricorn are helping us to build a ladder. They're building a structure or building a ladder. And then Pisces, what's happening in Pisces here today, we have the moon with the North Node, which is making us feel all of the Christmas nostalgia. And then we have Saturn ending its tour in Pisces. Finally, Saturn's going to move into Aries. And then Neptune at that critical degree of 29. Neptune is at the edge of the zodiac, thinning the veil. Okay? So if we have these three planets, Mars, the Sun, and Venus, building the ladder in Capricorn. Then we have the Moon, Saturn, and Neptune providing the vision of what's at the top, what's beyond the top. And it provides that memory of what's tender and sacred, of what our fate is. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, is where in your chart is Capricorn and Pisces? Where are we building a ladder? And then where are we getting that vision of what's sacred and tender that we're building the ladder towards? Okay. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. And so I'm just going to go through quickly what each sign is looking at with this sextile between the planets in Capricorn and the planets in Pisces, okay? So comment your rising signs and we'll start looking at where this is happening in your chart for you this Christmas. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas. Oh, I'm a Leo rising too. Wonderful. Wow. That Leo rising hits different. It's a great place for a rising to be, isn't it? Cancer rising. Hey. Oh, I know, in my Sag moon, Cancer rising. Yes. Okay, let's look. Okay, so I think it's because I do it this time of night. Always at this time of year, Cancer is on the horizon. Hey, Kent. Merry Christmas. How are you, friend? Thanks for stopping in. Thank you for joining, for stopping in. We're just doing some horoscopes. I was just talking about Pisces, too, about how it's the twin fish. But people call them the twin fish, but they're not necessarily twins. They're tied by a cord, and they're swimming in opposite directions. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, too. Hi, Renee. Welcome in. So if we start with Cancer rising, what we're looking at here with Cancer rising is that we have the planets in Capricorn building a structure to ascend from the 7th house of partnership and love, okay? And then we're getting this vision, this insight and vision from the 9th house. Hi, Asteria, welcome in. Thank you for joining, my friend. And so we're building this, we're thinking of Capricorn as where we build this ladder, this structure, and it's building upwards to the top of the mountain. And then we have, now that all these planets are in Capricorn, building. Thank you for the daily heart me. Thank you. Now that we have all of these planets, Venus, Mars, the Sun, building in Capricorn, which is the mastery of the physical realm, then we have a sextile to now Neptune and Saturn. We've ascended. Merry Christmas, Shine Eye. Thanks for stopping in. Love you guys. So now we have the planets in Capricorn building this structure of ascension. And now that the planets have entered Capricorn, we've turned the page where they're in a tense square against Saturn and Neptune. And now we are in a sextile where they're working with each other in a harmonious vibe, ashe, right? So now we're moving into this space where we're building towards something beautiful. And the planets in Pisces, thank you for the daily heart me. And do my cheers. And the planets in Pisces are showing us what we long for. They're showing us, giving us visions of what's next, what's at the top of that mountain, what's worth all the work, right? So we are starting with the horoscopes. We're starting with Cancer. And with Cancer, we have Capricorn in the 7th house of partnership, love, relationships, all of that. So if we think of the inner planets in Capricorn building to ascend, then we have this connection to Saturn and Neptune in Pisces in the 9th house for Cancer. So it's building towards some kind of connection to the divine, Ashe, because the 9th house is the house of God, is the house of higher connectivity, of source, of what I call God seeking. Okay, so this is somehow the dynamic for my Cancer risings, is that we're building something in our partnerships to get us to the next level when it comes to, yes, thank you. We're building towards something beautiful, towards our connection to the divine through our relationships, our most steady foundations, our marriages, our love stories, our partnerships, things like that. Hi, Soda. Welcome in. Thank you. I see you going live, girl. I love your stuff. So that's for my Cancer risings, is that we're building from relationships of love and connection and companionship, and we're getting visions of the heights that we can reach in our seeking of God. And that's very beautiful for my Cancer risings. We just started with the horoscope, so let's move on to Leo rising. Oh, Christmas tree. I don't know why that song is stuck in my... Oh, you know why? Because I was playing the Charlie Brown. I was playing the Charlie Brown Christmas. I was trying to vibe with that because it's so like jazzy and stuff. And I was like, that's a good like backdrop of sound. If they would not have ads. Oh, never mind. Okay, Leo rising. So Leo rising, we have the inner planets, Mars, the Sun, Venus. Me too. It's such a vibe, right? It's jazzy, but then it's like, it reminds me of being a kid. And it's just very nostalgic. Yeah, it's so much nostalgia to that Charlie Brown Christmas. And when the little kids are singing, Christmas time is here, and their voices are so high. I love it. Okay, Capricorn season for Leo risings. So we've got these inner planets in the 6th house of sacrifice. Unfortunately, my Leos and I, we're building, but it's appropriate because Capricorn is about hard work. It's about what we sacrifice for. So we're building and we're sacrificing, but we're getting visions of what we have to offer in our deepest karmic exchanges with people, because Neptune and Saturn and the moon are in our 8th house of intimate relationships, right? So think about that, about how we're building a ladder in the 6th house of work, health, daily chores, and sacrifice to keep building. And if you are Leo rising, then you've already been building, to continue building towards having a lot to offer in your karmic exchanges, because we don't want to come into karmic exchanges and agreements with people if we aren't where we feel we need to be, right? Happy holidays, Robin, Sadie. No, don't be nervous for her. This is beautiful. She is working towards, and if she's a Leo rising, we have a really interesting year coming up, because Jupiter is going to move into Leo in the summertime, and then we're getting eclipses in Leo. So this is going to be a pivotal year for us, where there's some big changes in our lives. And if she's a Capricorn moon, she can handle anything. Leos are strong. We're very strong. Merry Christmas, Amanda Joy. Oh, good. I understand that. Tough times. Is she, I wonder where her Saturn is. Is she going through a Saturn return? Taurus sun, wow. Wonder if she's going through a Saturn return. Okay, let's move on to Virgo. Oh, Christmas tree. Okay, Virgo. We have the planets in Capricorn, Mars, the Sun, Venus, building in our house of creation, of creativity, of joy and pleasure. Virgo risings, wonderful. Mars, Venus, and Neptune. Wow. And Mars is exalted in Capricorn. That's interesting. That's an interesting mix of like whimsy and stick-to-itiveness, what my mom used to call stick-to-itiveness. Venus and Capricorn also, you guys want to see the love. Like, show me you love me. That's some 8th house shit right there. So for my Leo, or for my Virgo risings, we have the planets, inner planets in the 5th house in Capricorn, building that structure to ascension in the 5th house of creation, creativity, joy, pleasure. And they're building that with this insight into what's possible in our relationships and our love connections and our most intimate companionships, okay? Capricorn rising, wonderful. We haven't gotten there yet, but we're getting there. So my Virgos, we're moving from pleasure, building from what our creativity and our pleasure towards something beautiful in our companionship, okay? Let's keep moving to Libra. We started with Cancer, so we'll work our way around to Gemini. Okay, for Libras, we have this Capricorn stellium of Mars, the Sun, and Venus, which has just moved into a sextile with Pisces. So now we're having this structurally, this strong, secure structure building in the 4th house of home, roots, family, ancestry, and we're getting some kind of insight into what's possible in our daily lives, in our health, and what we're willing to things that we're willing to sacrifice for. So for my Libras, this is really important because family is building that bridge to where we're finding our happiness in our daily work and our daily inner toiling and sacrifice, where we don't have to do that so much, where we're doing it for a righteous reason, right? Because that's really the thing, is work soul crushing, or does it feel righteous? And so if we can see that possibility of working towards something, hi not Alice, of working towards something that's really worth work, worth the sacrifice, then that's something to yearn for and to reach for. And by way of family connections or family rituals or programming that we've gotten from our families, or programming that we need to let go of for our families, from our families. Hi, Sunshine. Welcome in. Let's keep going. All right, Scorpio. So now, Scorpios. Yeah. Hi, Purasni. Purasni. Am I saying that right? Good. You felt that? Ashe. And so now for my Scorpio risings, we have Mars, the Sun, and Venus. Like I said, the inner planets are about our experience and our expression of this lifetime. So they're closer to us. They represent more of our daily ins and outs. Wow, you have a lot of siblings. Scorpio risings are powerful. I love me. I don't know why, but Scorpio risings and I vibe really well with one another. I think it's the fixed rising. Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome in the Restoration Project. 8 siblings. Wow. Now that's a magic number too. 8 is 3/4 of 4. My math is so, is it? Yes. Okay, Scorpio. Now that we have these inner planets moving into the 3rd house of the mind, of the moments, I like to call this house the mind, the moments, and the everyday people, because it's about your mental health, your daily rituals, your little everyday moments, and the people that you see in those everyday moments. In our childhood, the 3rd house represents our siblings. In adulthood, it represents those people, roommates, people who are like our siblings that we see on a daily basis. Merry Christmas, everybody. Yes. So for my Scorpios, we're building a structure from our daily moments and our daily life and our daily people. And we're getting this lovely insight of what's possible from the house of creativity, of creation, of joy, of pleasure. It's a beautiful reading for my Scorpios that we're building something to have a wild, rich inner world. And I love that for Scorpio risings, is that you're building a rich inner dialogue, a rich inner self-talk that, speaks to pleasure and joy and all of those things. Okay? Lovely, lovely for my Scorpios. Let's keep it going to Saggy Sag. Now, Sag, you guys have just been through a season where all these planets were previously in Sagittarius, and now they've moved out of your house of self. And so we have Venus, the Sun, and Mars. And keep in mind, those are the planet of desire and action. The Sun representing our purpose, our heart, and our will, our storyline. And Venus representing our connection, our love, beauty, aesthetics, and money. And so for Sag, this is building in Capricorn in the 2nd house of worth and resources. And I always say, the 2nd house is about your worth, but it doesn't mean dollars and cents. It's worth as you assign it to yourself, right? You are worth what you say you're worth. You are worth what you ask for. Thank you. And your resources are not just money. Hi, Harm. Welcome in. Your resources are not just money. Your resources are what you have to offer in terms of many things. It could be money, but it could be time as a resource. Energy is a resource. Effort is a resource, right? So for my Sagittarius, we are building in that 2nd house of worth and resources, and we're getting downloads of visions of what's possible in the 4th house of home, roots, ancestry, family, the mother. And even as far as like what you can be free from. I think the 4th house to me is a very beautiful house, but it can be very constricting because I think of not only our families, and maybe it's because I have a very, I would say the biggest challenge in my chart is my 4th house. That's where both my malefics are. So I see the 4th house sometimes as being a place where negative programs get embedded in us. Yeah, you got to heal. Chiron is asking for healing. And the way to heal is to deprogram from a lot of that stuff. Thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. Thank you. So yes, so we're breaking generational bonds, okay? This is beautiful for my Sagittarius to dig into your worth, to find that freedom. Okay? That's where I'm getting right now, is that's the download I'm getting, is that it's about freedom from familial programming, right? Okay. Ashe. Let's keep going. Capricorn. So Capricorn, yes, this is your season. Season for Capricorn risings. It's a beautiful time. We got Venus in here. We got Mars here. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So Mars is going to get, oh, you're a Sag rising? Good. I love that for you then. I love that for you, Shine. So for my Capricorns, we have Venus in Capricorn, the sun. So we're full of purpose. We're full of love. We got all these desires. We're going after it. Mars is exalted, and we're getting these downloads of what's beautiful and all the possibility and a vision of what's at the top of that mountain we're building towards in terms of our daily life, in terms of our daily experience of life, the daily moments, the daily people, the quiet moments, the inner exchanges of self to self. You know what I'm saying? So that's very beautiful for Capricorn, is to be building from a place of who am I to having a good time with yourself, because that's what the third house is really about. Your daily life, your daily experience, your experience of yourself, your own self-talk and inner dialogue, right? Okay, you also have Capricorn and Mercury, your first house, and a Sag Venus. Oh, that's spicy. I love that for you. Placidus. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of value to Placidus too. I do whole sign houses, just because I believe in the sacred angles of I like the way they're all neat and clean, and the way that they relate to one another, and the fact that it was what the ancient astrologers used. But there is a lot of value, a lot of really beautiful little nuggets in Placidus chart reading, where you realize, because of where the houses are, the sizes of the houses tell you a different story too, and it just gives you more depth, more detail. Yep. So I'm a fan of both, although what I use is whole sign. So for my Aquariuses, we have this ladder of ascension, this work that we're building in Capricorn with Venus, the Sun, and Mars from the 12th house of secrets and solitude and spirituality. Okay? And we're building from there, from a secret place. Okay? This is for my Aquariuses. And we're building towards what we are seeing as a vision at the top, a memory of what's tender and sacred in terms of our worth and our resources. Okay? It is very mysterious. That's why where my Aquarius risings at, I'm like, what y'all working on? I want to know. Hopefully you feel like at some point like it's worth, these planets will move out of Capricorn and move into Aquarius, and then it'll be time for us to see what the Aquariuses have been plotting. I'm looking forward to that. Okay. So good. Aquarius sun, good. That's wonderful. Yeah, dig into the mysteries of you. Find find your own worth and resources. Aquarius rising, yes, wonderful. So take this time of building in your solitude to really establish your worth and your boundaries in terms of your resources. Okay, let's keep going to Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Okay, now Pisces, yes. We have the moon in Pisces today with the North Node. We're feeling all kind of nostalgia. We are seeing these inner planets in Capricorn and the 11th house of well-wishers, society, and our social circles, people who want to push you to the top of that mountain. So building in your relationships, not like 7th house relationships like love, but your well-wishers, people who really see you for what you can accomplish and pushing you towards the top of the sky there. So for my Pisces, it's leaning into your connections in an effort to build towards the magic that you're fostering and you're creating, as Saturn has been working on y'all through this whole time of Saturn in Pisces and Neptune. Saturn has been building, Neptune's trying to dissolve. We're trying to figure out where we are in the middle of it all. But Pisces, what the stars or what the planets are telling you is to lean into your well-wishers and your social circles and your community to find that meaning, to find that. Because even when things get hazy and confusing, it's our relationships with others that mirror us back to each other when we feel lost. So lean on those connections, okay? Absolutely. Ashe. Okay, for Aries. Oh, shoot, I went too fast. Aries. Okay, Aries. Okay, Aries. We're building in the 10th house, Aries. We're building in the 10th house of career and acknowledgement and prestige. And we're getting these downloads from the 12th house of spirituality, secrets, and solitude. Really? Here in Christmas? Yes, I'm here in Christmas. It's Christmas here. Are you in Christmas? And so for Aries, we're building in the career and we're getting downloads from of visions from the 12th house of spirituality, secrets, solitude. And it's a beautiful thing to be finding something secret in that house from what you're building in your career. And you don't have to share everything. You don't have to share everything, but it's beautiful that you're finding little nuggets of self and of magic there as you continue to build on your career, on your prestige, on your fame, on all of those things. That's very beautiful for my Aries risings. Okay, let's keep going. Hi, Nini here, new to the space. Happy holidays. Thank you, Nini. Welcome in. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Oh, now they're playing my favorite one. Okay, I got my Charlie Brown Christmas plan. Okay, next, where were we at? We were at Aries. Hi, sweet chief. Okay, Taurus. Taurus. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. You are building in your 9th house of God, your spirituality, you're seeking higher knowledge, you're seeking source, you're seeking from a place of what I call God search. Okay, you're reaching up, and those planets, Mars, the planet of action, initiation, the sun is about your purpose, your plot line, Venus is about your love and your connection, your beauty. All of those things are in alignment to work towards that connection to source for you. Okay, Taurus? And you're getting these downloads of this vision of what's possible in your community. This is beautiful. What's possible in your community as you find what you're looking for as you seek God. Yeah, it's very beautiful for my Taurus risings. Because really, that's why I feel like people seek God and then they find family, and that's the way that they find God, right? That's why people go to church. That's why we find communities. Hi, Lefty Ann Designs. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. All right, that's beautiful for Taurus. Happiness and cheer. All right, last one, Gemini. Okay, for my Geminis, we are building, okay? Gemini is building in the 8th house of exchanges, of intimacy, of our deepest karmic bonds, okay? And so what we're building here is hopefully boundaries, hopefully building to where people are offering things to you that you deserve because of what you are to them. That's beautiful. Ashe. May we be getting what we deserve from the love that we give in this new year, especially for my Gemini risings, as we're building this structure of ascension through our deepest, most karmic bonds, and we're feeling this revelation, these downloads of what's possible in terms of the 10th house of career and prestige and fame and acknowledgement. Amen. Ashe. Yes. And also figuring out what we want to be for other people in our deepest connections. Mm-hmm. Me too. Me too. And it's really a beautiful thing where you start to get acknowledgement for things that you've been doing, you know. I love that too. Thank you for the thank you for the hat and mustache soda. I must have missed it. I was looking at the charts. What are you guys up to for the holidays for today? The children call a spirit through the year. Thank you. Yeah, me too. Just chilling. I'm excited too. This is going to be a good season. We have what's going to be really fun is that we have all these Kazimis coming up in January. It's almost Kazimi season. I didn't know there was such thing as Kazimi season, but it is. And it's going to be cool because we're going to have like Venus Kazimi, Mars Kazimi, Mercury Kazimi. Yes, a Kazimi is when a planet is pulled and gets close to the sun. So you've got the sun, and a planet gets drawn into the sun's orbit, and it gets pulled into the sun's warm embrace. And it's like thematically like a big cosmic rejuvenating hug from the sun, which is the center of our system. So it's kind of being brought into the throne room of the sun for an infusion of light and purpose and all this good yummy stuff, solar stuff, so that each planet gets their little time with the sun. It's almost like I'm a triplet. So I used to feel really excited. Like if I was sick and my sisters weren't, and I got to stay home and I got my mom to myself, like you got, when it's like, if as a planet, you get some time, one-on-one time with your, with parent or someone who means something to you or someone you look up to. The sun is like the center of our source. So each planet gets its own special time with the sun. And it's a really beautiful moment of purpose, infusion. And then that planet goes off to continue its journey through the cosmos after it has that audience with the sun in the throne room of the sun. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today for Christmas. I got some eyeshadow. I got this gold. I don't know if you guys can see. But do you have any questions for me before I hop off here? Yes, solve some mysteries. I want to know. You got to circle back and let me know what they were. And how does an Aquarius dig into their own inner mysteries? Is it like meditation, astral planing? My sun sign is Gemini. Oh, thank you. Yes. I have an album, Kazemi, which I dropped on the day of a Kazemi. And Astral Travel, yes. It's on all streaming sites, Spotify, iTunes, all the things. Sagittarius sun, okay, sister sign. My mom is we love y'all too. Aquemini. My mom is a Sag. You're supposed to learn your life lesson from your opposite sign or sister sign. Literally. Okay, guys. What should we do next time? Let's see here. I'm on winter break. So I'm thinking I may go live on Saturday to talk about Mercury and Chiron, because that'll be the next transit. Me too. Me too. I was feeling a little lonely. I was like, let me just hop on here and just vibe. So Saturday we'll go live, not too late, maybe like around the same time, 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, our karmic wounds. I love Chiron. I don't know. I'm not a masochist. Pain is beauty. Pain is intensity and angst. You need that. Yeah. Yes, alchemize it. Absolutely, Asteria. Alchemize that shit. Absolutely, friend. Absolutely. So, okay, guys, I will see you Saturday. And if you guys are going to Haru's live, I think he's going live tonight. I will see you there. And in the meantime, I love you too. In the meantime, I will see y'all soon, later tonight, and then I'll be live Saturday. Love you. Merry Christmas.